right now. And if you are in this general area, you'll want to go ahead and take cover if you do happen to be around here. So again, parts of St. John and St. James, but really you can see the tornado warning in the red there does continue all the way out pretty much to Lake Maurepas and to Lake Pontchartrain. So if you're right around Laplace, you may be wanting to kind of just take this as, you know, pretty seriously, as we do see some rotation with this storm. So getting to Laplace possibly by about maybe 10:11 or so. That's why our tornado warning is going until 10:30. So we'll be staying with you through that time, of course, as we're trying to keep everyone safe with this tornado threat, which of course could be quite destructive. So we're not seeing anything as far as any reports just yet, but we are seeing the rotation on radar. And so that's why we're tracking it for you right now. And we may continue to see actually that entire line of storms moving on through as we move into the early afternoon, really toward midday and afternoon. And there is, if you look closely in the yellow shaded box, a severe thunderstorm warning. So that goes from Convent north into parts of St. James and St. John, and then all the way north into really the southern edge of Tangipahoa Parish around I-55 south of Hammond. And that's to indicate strong winds. So multiple things going on this morning, of course. When we shift back toward New Orleans and the metro area itself, we're seeing, thankfully, after so much rain, the flooding threat kind of diminishing. Most spots should be improving at this point. However, we do have the line of showers and storms and strong storms that's going to be moving in. So let me track it for you in just a second. I'm going to move our radar scene around just a little bit, and we'll be able to see what's going to be happening as we move into the next hour to 2 hours or so. We also, let's see, that severe thunderstorm warning that we were talking about will be continuing. We're hearing that from the National Weather Service, and that one goes until 10 a.m. and that includes parts of St. John, St. James, and parts of Tangipahoa Parish. So these are the elements that we're watching right now. Of course, we did get so much rain earlier, and we're watching this line of storms starting to move into our area. And we are going to be seeing this probably through about lunchtime. So if you're in the New Orleans area and you're saying, you know, when's this going to be getting here? I'm going to track it in just a second, but I did want to just track it and kind of get our tool ready here. So give me 1 second and I'll be able to do that. Again, these storms are moving at a pretty fast pace. They're moving at near 40 miles per hour. So as we track it here, let me get my little tool set up, and I'll set it to 40 miles per hour. And let's see when this line of storms will be charging toward the New Orleans area. I'm going to draw our line here, and then we will see as it moves this way. And here is the tentative timeline for the arrival as it moves out to the east. So you can see Thibodaux maybe about 10:20 or so. It might be over possibly by Laplace, maybe toward, as I said, about 10:15. And then we'll look at the Kenner, River Ridge, Jefferson, and New Orleans area, maybe seeing the arrival of this line of storms by about 11 a.m. So it's 9:47 right now, so you got about an hour or so for the New Orleans metro area before we're going to be seeing this show up. But again, the main reason that we're cutting in right now, and again, I hate to cover up your broadcast if you're watching TV here on Channel 4, but this is something we do for tornado warnings to keep everyone safe, because tornado is obviously quite a dangerous situation. So if you're in the red box, that's where the tornado warning is right now, and it includes parts of St. James and St. John again. And really this line of storms with the rotation is right around McElroy, and it will continue moving east at 40 miles per hour. And already, even just since we broke in a few minutes ago for this tornado warning, you can see that the line has really progressed pretty far. It's no longer at the end of the warning box. It's all the way toward the center now, and you can see the heavy rain and lightning associated with that. So just kind of using our query tool here, let's see if I can see how heavy that rain is. That area of the storm just south of McElroy, just south of the tornado warned area, is showing 4+ inches of rain per hour, now showing about 3 inches per hour. Let's sample a couple of other spots. There's another spot getting close to Lake Maurepas with near 5 inches of rain per hour. And of course, we have already gotten some high totals. And you know that if you were up and about in certain parts of our area. Just a quick check on how much we've gotten today. Belle Chase, as far as the official weather stations at different areas, and thank you if you've been texting us how much you got, but we do see Belle Chase with more than 5 inches, the New Orleans airport and downtown 2 to 3+ inches, and a lot of rain north of the lake too, well over an inch in most spots. So we are going to be seeing the flash flood warning, it looks like, probably going to be extended, the National Weather Service is saying now, and that includes, of course, the New Orleans metro area where we've had the flooding issues and some roads that are impassable due to some water in different locations. So the National Weather Service, by the way, we keep up a chat with them and they kind of give us ideas of what they're going to be doing as far as these different products go. And it looks like they are going to be extending the flash flood warning at 10 a.m. when it's set to expire. They say we may get another quick 1 to 2 inches of rain with this line that is heading toward us. And so we're going to be continuing with the chance for a few more of those streets to fill up with water and so forth. So here's what we have right now as far as our tornado warning goes. And you can see it's a little bit difficult to detect sometimes with these kind of systems when you have the line of storms moving in. What you're looking for is these little notches of rotation where the reds are showing the winds going away from the radar site, and of course the radar site we're using is in Slidell, and then the greens are showing the winds going toward. So when you see the reds and the greens jutted up in this kind of tight formation, that's where we're seeing the rotation. And so you can see that is extending across around Sorrento and then going towards St. James and St. John and eventually toward Lake Maurepas, as I was saying. And then here's our area again. Notice that the big area in the yellow box, if you look kind of closely, that is going to be the severe thunderstorm warning. Difference between that, of course, and the tornado warning is that that is mostly just for high wind gusts. However, we know in this part of South Louisiana that high wind gusts can come in up to, 60 plus miles per hour. So that can do damage, and often we get people mistaking what is a high wind gust or damaging winds for the actual, possibility of a tornado. So a lot of people will say, oh, I think a tornado came through. And a lot of times what we're actually seeing is the showers and storms, just being able to tap into this drier air, which is a little bit farther up in the atmosphere. And it's able to just kind of really create what we call a downburst, where it just is able to expel the wind quickly and create that high wind gust activity. So here we are at Gonzales. Here's the line right now. And again, multiple things to think about. We have a flash flood warning, which will likely be extended because, again, we're going to get another maybe 1 to 2 inches of rain with this particular line. We have the yellow boxes indicating the severe thunderstorm warnings, which mostly will go until about 10 a.m. and we'll see if these get extended farther out, probably because this line, is continuing to charge to the east. And then, of course, the big thing that why we're on air right now is the tornado warning that is outside of our area or kind of on the fringes of our area, but working in toward areas like Laplace and other spots around Lake Maurepas and the fringes of Lake Pontchartrain. And so this is what we're tracking right now. Thankfully, though, the New Orleans metro area is getting a chance to kind of get a break, see some of the flooding that we've had this morning go down on the streets in the area. And now we're seeing this next line move through. If you want to see a look at our model, by the way, let me just pull that up for you very quickly. Here we are with our model at 9:30, 10 o'clock. We're almost at 10, so it's doing an okay job. It has a little too much rain farther south, but we are seeing, generally what is going on around Baton Rouge and now edging towards St. John and St. James, heading into those parishes. It's a little bit lagging behind, so that could be a good thing. We need this line to move through fast and not set up and linger over us like we were seeing so much earlier today. This is 12:30. Our model has the showers and some downpours in the area, and then as we move toward 2:30, still some rain wrapping up, and then we'll fast forward to about 4:30. So this is just one model, but you can see the general idea, the rain continuing as we move into the middle part of the day and then wrapping up by later in the afternoon. Also, the flash flood warning, by the way, that we've had going until 10 a.m. We knew that the National Weather Service was going to extend it, and they have indeed. And now the flash flood warning that you see in the green shaded area is extended until noon. So that's going to be in place for this line of storms that's moving in as we speak, and we're going to be seeing that all the way until noon for the New Orleans metro area, and that includes the West Bank. It includes over toward Metairie, Kennard, Jefferson, other places like that, and all the way really until Luling. So again, if you are just kind of getting that alert on your phone, perhaps that there's another flash flood warning in the area, that is for our potential for a bit of flooding with 1 to 2 or so inches, maybe even a bit more. Hopefully not, though, because we're going to be seeing the line moving pretty fast. At this point, it's moving about 40 miles per hour, and we are going to see that line continuing over our area. And then, as you saw, probably around lunchtime and midday, I don't know, might want to think about getting a delivery or something like that, or not a delivery, maybe you have some snacks in your office or some way to get some food that you can think of instead of having to head out, or maybe you want to go out really quickly and get something right now at 10 a.m. because this line is going to be moving in potentially, as I tracked it earlier, right around 11 o'clock or so for the New Orleans area. Again, this is the part that we're concerned with the potential for some rotation here, and this has been the tornado warned area. So sometimes you can get certain tornado warnings where a tornado is confirmed. This would be very hard really to confirm at this point because it's kind of on the edge of this line of rain, might be obscured by rain and so forth. But we are seeing the big change up of the different direction winds. The red would be away from the radar site, so winds going this way, and then the green is toward. And we've kind of been seeing the reds bouncing up against the greens and detecting that rotation in the tornado warned box, which you can see here. Now, it was much more defined when it was issued, when this warning was issued out over towards Sorrento. We're still seeing a little bit of a notch here, but we might, we'll see how this progresses. We'll see whether this continues to show as much rotation as it continues to the east, because it's looking a little bit, you know, less as though there is a big spin as far as the leading edge of the rain. Now, back where it was starting, you saw that it was a little bit more defined. You could kind of see it wrapping up into more of a kind of circle shape, and now we're seeing it just a bit more linear as it moves off to the east. So probably, you know, we'll see what happens, but the tornado warning does officially go, I believe, until 10:30. So we will see. This will probably have to be updated for the time because it's moving pretty fast as we get into the almost 10 o'clock range. So this is the heavy rain, and we were sampling the different rain totals or rain rates, the precipitation rates. And in New Orleans, we know that that can be a big thing that we think about because it's not necessarily, well, it is how long it lasts, but it's also how fast the rain is coming down in that period. And we've been seeing pockets of that area, this line showing up to 4 or 5 inch rates of the rain. So you can see the heavy rain, of course, is indicated in the pinks and reds. That's where the heaviest is. And just sampling all the different spots, Peyton's helping me sample these different locations. You can see that the rain rates are up to 2 to 3 or so inches per hour in most of this part of the line right now. What we're seeing, though, and it is kind of a good thing, is that it's moving pretty fast, and we're not seeing it really developing out behind at this point. These, by the way, are our 24-hour Doppler rain total. So our radar estimates how much rain has come down. And you can see with the orange, that's indicating up to 6 or so inches of rain, maybe even a bit more. The yellow that you see spread out across New Orleans and over toward St. Bernard Parish and over toward Donaldsonville even is about 3 to 6. So I was showing you those rain totals earlier, showing Belchase, an actual record at well, what has been recorded at just about or over 5 inches, 5.03 inches, I think it was at Belchase so far today. Other spots like the New Orleans Airport and the Lakefront Airport have been in the 2 to 3 inch range. So certainly we're seeing this lining up. Now the greens is about 1 to 3 inches where you see the green showing up. So not quite as much. And it's kind of interesting. Our flash flood watch going into the overnight and early today was really outlined pretty much in this area that we're seeing those highest rainfall rates. We saw that line move in and really just set up and continue to bring rain to these particular areas. While we've had a lot of rain on the North Shore, we're not getting as many reports as some of those flooding issues. And again, thankfully, we're getting this break for New Orleans, seeing some of the rain able to go down as far as where it has built up in some spots like under overpasses or underpasses and things like that. So we are getting a nice break. However, we've had a lot of rain already. So we're going to see this move in, potentially bring a few more street flooding issues. And since it's almost 10 a.m. right now, we are likely going to see this continuing until maybe about 11 o'clock or so for New Orleans. So this will be progressing pretty fast. It's moving at about 40 miles per hour or so. And we're going to see that over toward the New Orleans area. So yeah, if your phone is buzzing and you're saying what's going on, we have several things going on right now. We have most notably the tornado warning that we're watching. So if you're in the red shaded box, this would be the time to get somewhere safe.
Alex, I do want to interrupt you just for a second because we do have an update on the tornado warning. It looks like they're going to let it expire, so that's good. They say the rotation has weakened enough to where just seeing some strong winds at this point. So the tornado warning for what we were seeing for St. James, St. John has expired, and that was mainly north of I-10. So that rotation signature, as Alex was talking about earlier, or Alexandra was talking about earlier, has weakened. So they've canceled that warning, and now we're just left with the severe thunderstorm warning for the river parishes, and of course our flash flood warning for the metro, Alexandra.
Okay, great, Peyton. Yeah, and you were showing the velocity product, showing that where it was around Sorrento, it was looking a lot tighter, and now we're seeing that not quite as noticeable. So here's our velocity product, and thankfully everything weakening a little bit. And sometimes, again, on the leading edge of these kind of lines of rain as opposed to an isolated cell, it can be somewhat difficult to see, and things can kind of fluctuate. You'll see it kind of ramp up and start to spin up a little bit, and you see a bit more rotation, and then as the line progresses, sometimes things even out a little bit. So thankfully right now we're not seeing a really tight signature on velocity showing that really tight rotation. Instead, what we're seeing now, and again, it's good to see that our tornado warning is gone at this point. We still have the severe thunderstorm warning. That's for the high wind gusts, potentially up to about 60 or so miles per hour. And that's with the line of rain that's going to be sweeping in and hopefully continuing to move through. Flash flood warning is still in effect for the New Orleans metro area itself until noon, and that's for the green blinking box that you see there. So we'll continue to track the line as it continues to move east at, again, about 40 miles per hour. So we're looking at for it in the New Orleans metro area by about 11 o'clock or so. So probably, get anything you got to do done in the next maybe half hour or so in New Orleans, because that line's going to be moving through with the chance for a bit more street flooding, potentially in a few spots. But thankfully, we're getting this time to at least dry out a little bit right now.
From Channel 4's Eyewitness News, this has been your local weather expert alert, brought to you by Egan Insurance Agency.